Hello and welcome live from Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. You're watching Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Iwiwa, and today our focus would be on the Northwest. But before we get into that, let's have a snippet of our top stories making the rounds at the moment. The former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Mohammed, has died at the age of 71. The Bauchi State Governor, Bala Mohammed, confirmed his death in a condolence message issued today. The statement said the former CJN died on Tuesday at a hospital in Saudi Arabia after a prolonged illness about 2 weeks before his 72nd birthday on December 31. The governor described Mohammed's death as a profound loss to Bauchi State, the Nigerian judiciary, and the nation at large. Now, the Senate has confirmed the nominations of 3 non-career ambassadors, the first of nominees submitted by President Tinubu 2 weeks ago and screened by the upper chamber last week. Those confirmed are Lateef Kayode Kolawole from Ogun State, Aminu Mohammed Dalhatu from Jigawa State, and Emmanuel Ayodele Oke from Oyo State. The confirmations followed the consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, which conducted the screening exercise. 64 other ambassadorial nominees are yet to be confirmed. We start off in Zamfara State, where Governor Dauda Lawal of the state has flagged off the distribution of learning materials to primary school pupils in Talata Mafara local government area of Zamfara State, reaffirming his administration's commitment to revitalizing education at the grassroots. The initiative, spearheaded by the chairman of Talata Mafara local government, Yaya Yari, is part of a broader intervention aimed at improving education delivery across the area. Speaking during the official launch at the Council Secretariat, Governor Lawal described the program as wonderful and full of wisdom, noting its potential to positively transform the local government.
Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal arrives to a rousing welcome by the people of Talata Mafara local government headquarters, as the council formally commences the distribution of newly acquired learning materials aimed at strengthening primary education. Chairman of Talata Mafara local government, Yahya Yari, outlines the quantity and scope of the materials procured, describing the initiative as a deliberate effort to improve access to quality education and enhance learning outcomes for children.
We have learned to follow your seat by committing resources to be the future of our leaders of tomorrow. The items to be inaugurated, Your Excellency, today are 250,000 exercise books, 1,000 BO, 30,000 pencils, 30,000 sharpener, 30,000 cleaner, 12,000 rulers, 500 cartons of school chairs, and 500 three-seater bags, which will contain 1,500 people at a time.
In turn, Governor Lawal commends the council chairman for prioritizing education and other people-oriented projects, noting that meaningful development begins at the grassroots, which is in line with his administration's rescue agenda.
Part of the promises we made when we went around campaigning, I'm happy Talata Mafara has benefited and is still benefiting. I can confidently tell you that in Talata Mafara alone, we have spent over 25 billion naira in different projects.
As part of the visit, the governor also inspects key projects within Talata Mafara, including the Zamfara State University, Abdu Guzo Polytechnic, and the newly renovated General Hospital, which the government is confident will compete favorably with other world-class health facilities across the country.
I'm impressed. From here, I'm heading to the Abdu Guzo Polytechnic Talata Mafara to also see some of the work that is ongoing there. And I'm hoping within the first quarter of next year, all these works here in the hospital as well as the university and polytechnic will be completed.
The governor reassured residents of his administration's unwavering commitment to improving the living standards and economic well-being of the people through sustained investment in education, healthcare, and critical infrastructure across all 14 local government areas of Zamfara State.
Staying in Zamfara State, the European Union is reaffirming its commitments to peace building in northwest Nigeria as it launches its conflict prevention project in Katsina and Zamfara states. The European Union has reaffirmed its commitments to supporting Nigeria's efforts to address insecurity through community-based peace-building initiatives. This assurance was given by the European Union Ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Gautier Mignot, during the launch of a conflict prevention, crisis response and resilience program in Gusau, the Zamfara state's capital.
Recent reports from humanitarian agencies and the International Organization for Migration indicate that roughly 685,000 people have been forced from their homes in the northwest states of Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina state due to communal clashes and banditry, with Zamfara state accounting for about 200,000 internally displaced persons, many of whom are yet to return to their communities. Concerned about the situation, stakeholders gather in Gusau for the launch of the Conflict Prevention, Crisis Response and Resilience Program, also known as CPCRR, which targets Katsina and Zamfara state. It focuses on ending violent conflict through peace building, social cohesion and support for vulnerable populations.
From the displacement tracking matrix data that we are working along with government, we have noted that there are about 650,000 displaced persons, and we have over 142 returnees, of course with Zamfara hosting over 200,000 displaced persons. Despite these challenges, the people of Zamfara have shown great resilience. They have demonstrated determination and a will to rebuild.
Ambassador of the European Union to Nigeria reaffirms the bloc's commitment to Nigeria's sustainable development, stability and long-term prosperity.
The situation, of course, of great concern to us, the situation of insecurity and violence, in particular in the northwest of Nigeria. And we know it is difficult to address, in spite of the strong commitment of the federal government, of the state government, and many other stakeholders. And this is why we've come to offer our support through this program over the next, I was going to say 18 months, because this is the duration of the project, but in fact, it has already started. Activities are already ongoing.
In his remarks, the host governor, Dauda Lawal, says his administration shares the same development philosophy, which places inclusion, sustainability, and people-centered governance at the core of policy implementation.
The project being launched today reflects this understanding. Its design acknowledges that preventing conflict, responding effectively to crises, and strengthening resilience are interconnected tasks. But focus on early intervention, community-level engagement, institutional coordination, and social recovery, the initiative aligns with our development philosophy, which places people, inclusion, and sustainability at the center of governance.
The UN-funded program is being implemented by the Center for Democracy and Development and the International Organization for Migration. In Zamfara State, the intervention will be executed in Gusau and Bungudu local government areas over an 18-month period.
The women are also major target. A lot of them are survivors. Some could also be actors in the conflict, and we want them to also be part of peace building. Women are strategic in peace building. As mothers, as wives, as sisters, as daughters, they are strategic, and we also want their contribution to be valuable in bringing about peace.
Development stakeholders are optimistic that the program will help address the root causes of conflict, facilitate the safe return of displaced persons, and contribute to lasting peace in Zamfara, Katsina, and the wider northwest region.
The Katsina State government has launched local and foreign investors to key into its sustainable economic opportunities by investing their resources in the state for socio-economic activities to thrive. The Director General of the Katsina Investment Promotion Agency, Mr. Ibrahim Chikmashi, made the appeal during the unveiling of the 2026 Business Enabling Reform Action Plan, aimed at providing a robust and business-friendly environment for local entrepreneurs and large-scale investors to operate in the state at the Katsina Old Government House. The agency is implementing the state's government's economic revitalization initiative, which is expected to enhance transparency and accountability in critical business and administrative sectors. Mr. Jikamashi explained that the 2026 Business Enabling Reform Action Plan will pave the way for improved land administration and land investment process and increased fiber optic network deployment and access to broadband, among others.
We have identified, we have clarified, and we have simplified this process to them, and we have given them what do we seek to deliver in 2026 and what are the expected outcomes in areas of land administration, transparency in payment of business fees and timeline, in terms of dispute resolutions, and then what we seek to do in terms of development of ICT and fiber optics deployment in Katsina State. Additionally, we seek also to inform them on what they are doing in terms of micro, small and medium enterprises development in Katsina State. And each, you have seen for yourself the objectives identified in a more simpler way, and we have also crafted a more deliverables on each items. At the same time, we have defined what we expect to achieve in the year 2026.
The wife of the Katsina State's governor, Mrs. Zulayat Rada, has stressed the need for stakeholders to empower women with skills to increasingly speak out, report and document any form of gender-based violence using their social media handles and other digital spaces. Mrs. Rada disclosed this at the Katsina Local Government Service Commission during the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence with the theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls. The event, organized by the Katsina State Council of the Trade Union Congress Women's Commission, was followed by a sensitization and campaign rally on gender-based violence against women and girls.
Today, we have gathered under the unified theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls. This theme is not just a slogan, but a call to action. It reminds us that ending violence against women and girls is a collective responsibility that requires the participation of every individual, institution, and government agency in our states. Gender-based violence remains a serious challenge in our communities, affecting the lives of countless women and girls, and undermining the social economic development of our states. Through this campaign, we seek to raise awareness, educating the public, and mobilizing citizens to stand together against all forms of violence.
To security issues now, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has deployed additional operational vehicles to Kebbi State to strengthen security across the state. Presenting the vehicles to Governor Nasir Idris at the Government's House in Birnin, Kebbi, the Commissioner of Police, Bello Sani, said the deployment was aimed at addressing the security challenges in the state and to support the efforts of the Kebbi State government.
The effort of the police is to encourage the government, the assistance you have been doing for security in the state. So that is why the IGP and his management team deem it necessary to encourage your effort to supply more operational vehicles in order to augment security in the state. The vehicles are in two sections. The first section was supplied to the command, permanent to the command here. We have 6 operational vehicles. That is the armor car and one truck. Then the second section, we have SIS, whom they are on special duty here. And they came with 6 operational vehicles, including this starter vehicle.
Governor Nasir Idris equally commends the Inspector General of Police for providing vehicles suitable for operations in security flashpoint areas. He also praised President Bola Tinubu for his directive on the withdrawal of police personnel from VIP duties, noting that the move has led to better deployment of security resources.
These vehicles are ready to go to the flashpoints that we have in some location in Kebbi State. This is a clear sign that the President Bola Tinubu, the directive that he have issued to Inspector General of Police, and this is the answer. I want to use this medium to thank the Inspector General of Police. Whether somebody like it or not, IG is on the job.
The federal government has flagged off electric transportation at Bayero University, Kano, to ease movement for students and contribute to climate change mitigation. The State Minister of Education, who flagged off the electric tricycles, said the initiative would be extended to several universities across the country. Meanwhile, the State Ministry of Housing and Urban Development also inspected the ongoing construction of the Wuju Road in Kano Metropolis. Our correspondent Abubakar Salihu reports.
Students and university officials gathered at Bayero University to witness the flag-off ceremony of electric tricycles designed to ease transportation challenges faced by students.
It's my singular honor to officially launch this e-tricycle for the use of staff and students of Bayero University, Kano.
The Minister of State for Education, who performed the flag-off, said similar project would be implemented in other universities across the nation.
The deployment of electric tricycle marks a significant stride towards integrating clean energy solutions, technical innovation and skill development within our educational and national development program.
The Vice-Chancellor of the university called on the beneficiaries to use the tricycles responsibly and maintain them properly.
I would like to assure the Honorable Minister that Bayero University Kano, as a great citadel of learning, will ensure the judicious utilization of these 20 electric tricycle Keke Napep, inshallah.
Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development said President Bola Tinubu has approved the construction of a major metropolitan road to improve road networks in Kano.
And fortunately for us, the President, Senator Bola Tinubu, approved the project to be constructed at the cost of 47 billion naira. This is a huge amount and we have to appreciate the President. This is part of what he has been doing to Kano State.
In recognition of these developmental projects, a civil society group commended the President for initiating people-oriented and impactful projects across Kano State and the country at large.
Key roads across the north are also receiving focused attention from the President, including the Bauchi to Gombe Road, the Nasarawa-Abuja route, the Gashua to Pataskum Road, and the Gembu to Cameroon border. These roads being improved to ease travel and strengthen trade and reconnect communities affected by insurgency.
The initiatives reflect the federal government's commitment to sustainable development, improved infrastructure, and better welfare for Nigerians. Abubakar Salihu, Channels Television News.
The Jigawa state government has established the Sangaya board under the Ministry of Education, which is saddled with the responsibility of incorporating Western education into the Almajiri system. The state government has already committed over 2 billion naira to kickstart the program in some local government areas of the state. Our correspondent Sadiq Eliasu has more in this report.
For hundreds of years, using wooden tablets, this has been the way Almajiri memorized the Holy Quran. In this Sangaya school, these children now have a rare opportunity to learn both Quranic and Western education.
It's a word. We use. Instead of a noun in a sentence.
The high rate of out-of-school children in the state made it necessary for the state government to establish more of these schools to accommodate more pupils.
In 2016, they estimated that there are about 738,000 out of school in Jigawa state, making Jigawa the fourth most populous out of school children in Nigeria. Based on this development, the executive governor of Jigawa state, Madam Umar E. Namadi FCA, concluded that the best approach to deal with this situation is to establish a board with this sole mandate in order to address the issue of out of school in Jigawa state. Based on that, last year in October 2024, His Excellency assented a bill which led to the establishment of Jigawa State Sangaya Education Board.
Since the inception of this administration, Governor Umar Namadi has made education a top priority by allocating more funds to the sector.
The basic education sector has equally witnessed notable improvement in the development of infrastructure and educational facilities, as well as the integration of technology-driven instructional methods through the digital learning platforms. Additionally, this has been a strong focus on teacher recruitment and professional development. These efforts have been complemented by targeted initiatives designed to reduce the number of out-of-school children and to foster inclusive education. Examples include substantial investment in Sangaya and nomadic education, improvement in facilities and resources for nomadic schools, and enhancement made by the State Agency for Mass Education. The agency has effectively expanded its literacy and the continuing education program for adult, school dropout, and women.
The initiative is expected to reduce the number of out-of-school children while providing Almajiri with balanced religious and modern education for a better future. Sadiq Eliasu, Channels Television News.
Over 600 onion farmers in Sokoto State have benefited from an onion intervention program of the National Agricultural Development Fund targeting farmers who suffered loss as a result of flooding. The program was officially flagged off by the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of NADF, Mohammed Abdul Ibrahim, who was represented by the Assistant General Secretary of the agency, Muazu Ibrahim. The intervention was designed to help farmers recover from losses caused by flooding and climate-related shocks, restore production capacity and strengthen resilience within the onion value chain. Onion farmers in Sokoto, Kebbi, Yobe and Borno states were among the worst affected by recent flooding, and that the disasters had disrupted livelihoods, local markets and national food supply.
Many of our onion farmers have suffered devastating losses due to unprecedented flooding. We especially recognize the struggles of farmers in states like Sokoto, Kebbi, Yobe and Borno, who bore the brunt of these disasters. These losses have threatened livelihoods, the income, and disrupted local markets and supplies, even across some nations in Africa. In response, the NADF, in collaboration with the state government and other stakeholders, has designed a targeted emergency intervention aimed at restoring production capacity, strengthening resilience, and ensuring that our farmers can return to their fields without delay.
The state government has made that promise that they will take a part of that stipend so that at least they can partner in ensuring that they have given their own assistance so that at least our farmers can take that as a free basis commodity. And I also want to assure you that we as a ministry, we are ever ready and we are committed in ensuring that we give our support to all agencies, not only government agencies, even the private partners and private investors that are willing to come to Sokoto and invest. We are ready to partner with them. And as such, His Excellency the Executive Governor had already made a procurement of 250 directors, which are currently lying down at the Lagos port. And inshallah, by next week, inshallah, the directors will soon be on ground. And one of the major things that made the governor to make that giant stride is to ensure that they uplift the standard of our agricultural production.
And now to the aviation sector. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has marked the Fire Prevention Week at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, with a series of activities aimed at strengthening safety consciousness within the aviation environment. The program, which kicked off early in the morning, brought together FAN management, airport fire service personnel, aviation stakeholders and security agencies, all focused on promoting proactive measures against fire incidents. Speaking at the event, FAN officials emphasized that fire prevention remains a critical component of airport safety, noting that early detection, regular drills and strict adherence to safety procedures are key to preventing emergencies. Participants were taken through practical fire drills, emergency response demonstrations and safety briefings designed to improve readiness and response time in the event of fire outbreaks. And that's it on this edition of Newsroom Series. I'm Dominic Iwiu. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.